Hello Internet, and welcome to my live reaction for Eden Zero, chapter 164. When we last left our heroes, Shiki lost. At least for a little bit. He eventually got better, but in the short term, he was soundly defeated by Shura post losing his eye, allowing Shura to go to the All-Link room unimpeded. Rebecca was already there, but she was quickly kind of squashed by Shura, still alive, but unlike the guards who were just paced, but unable to fight back against Shura. Shura had basically won, both in his All-Link plan and in the blowing up the temple plan, until we got a video chat from Nero, revealing that he had supposedly killed Ziggy, though also not quite dead, and that his ether gear, Wormhole, had teleported the 20,000 antimatter bombs to Nero 66, so that when Shura activates the bombs, they will blow him up instead of Nero. And then Shiki comes crashing through the ceiling, shocking everyone that he's still alive. Nero ponders for a bit who this guy is, before Ziggy stabs him through the back, revealing that he's not dead either. And that's where we left off. Let's dive right on into chapter 164, Downpour of the Black Heavens. And we have this really detailed color cover. It's not the normal style, of Witch just like sitting in space, comets behind her, and then there's just the logo. It's definitely this is a big chapter vibes. But we open where we have not been for a good long while, above Nero 66. The battle is still going on. Justice and Eraser are still fighting. Justice asks Eraser, "Can't you use your eraser yet? Give me a minute. The corner's dirty." I'm not quite sure what that's referring to, but okay. Anyway, the giant sea serpent thing that killed the Tsar and Verena readies its next beam. Victory calls, "Here comes a second wave." So I'm guessing this is right after that last attack. But we see Victory go in on the attack. Ibaraki also calls, "Even so!" And everyone just shoots the base of the sea serpent while it's readying that next attack. Eraser comments, "The rebel army." Russo yells, "This is for our friends!" And then the other bot member of Oasis, whose name is, let me do a quick little wiki search, Gomakichi? Is he Gomakichi? Yes, it is Gomakichi. Gomakichi calls, "You'll pay!" Then we leave that scene there. We come to the surface, where Laguna has apparently gotten Witch back to the Eden Zero. Herman and Sister are working on saving her. Witch! Sister calls, "Get her to the infirmary, now!" And Couchpo turns to Moscow. "Is Witchy going to be okay? She is massively damaged, but her core still stands." And then Laguna opens the water bottle with Ijuna in it. "There's one more person I'd like you to take care of." But the water bottle is empty. I don't know how or why. Like, why would Ijuna leave? Her red string of fate with Shura should be severed. She should be freed, right? So maybe, I don't know, maybe she's trying to, like, stop Shura as an atonement kind of thing? I don't know. But he's shocked. She's gone. And Couchpo asks, "What's wrong?" And Laguna is sort of silent as he thinks, "The princess." But then we come back to the All-Link room, presumably where we will find Ijuna fairly soon, if I'm right. Where Shiki's just sort of slams Shura down in that surprise attack. Shura quickly collects himself. He sees ether lines reforming. Shiki! And he's right back in overdrive immediately, shocking Rebecca. What happened to him? Pino reacts, "Overdrive," but Shiki's right back in the battle. Magimech attack! Meteor breaker! And he slams Shura right upside the chin. Sends him flying back. Grah! But he collects himself. Garbage! You're all nothing but garbage! Heavy collision! And he raises the ground under Shiki, slamming into Shiki's gut, sending him flying. Shiki coughs up. Ah! And he's flying up, bleeding. Happy calls, "Shiki!" And we see Rebecca is getting increasingly concerned. And then we go to the temple. To make a One Piece comparison, this is very much a kind of overview chapter, checking in on all of the different scenes going on in this arc, which, admittedly, this arc is getting kind of There's a bunch of different scenes concurrently going on right now, which is kind of abnormal for Eden Zero. But anyway, we're back at the temple. We see, Nero has been stabbed through by Ziggy. And then, using his gravity, Ziggy floats his head up and puts it in his hand. And taunts Nero, mere decapitation isn't enough to kill a mechanical life form. You got careless, Nero, and he screws his head back on. And Nero taunts back, nor are these minor flesh wounds enough to kill me. It is not my destiny. And we see, not in my destiny. And we see that Ziggy has the Empire dice. Destiny? You mean these? And Nero's shocked. Impossible. Gravity cannot affect my dice. And Nero takes them in his fist, or Ziggy takes them in his fist, and crushes them. Shocking Nero. You broke a relic? And Ziggy taunts, it's all just matter. It can't resist true gravity. Is that referring to gravity not caused by ether gear or what? I'm assuming so. It could still fall into his hands, and then he could just break it. They're just kind of stone. And we see. I was kind of confused what was going on there. I think that's Nero using his wormhole. But we see the battle in the sky above him. But he uses his wormhole to put his arm, to have his arm appear behind Ziggy. Ziggy taunts, I like that power. I want it to fall to me. And he turns around. I guess Nero's fully reached through the wormhole. And Ziggy puts his hand right on Nero's face. This is the deepest part of gravity, where all excess is destined to fall. Gravity drain! And I'm not quite sure what that's referring to. Maybe it's tied in with what we saw back on the Belial Gore. How the memories of World 29 sort of fell into Shiki by the power of his gravity. Maybe something similar is going on here. Anyway, this is the deepest part of gravity where all excess is destined to fall. Yeah, that's my best guess for that line. Gravity drain! And we see, I can't quite work out what's going on with Nero there. But he is screaming in pain. Ah! And we see Shura back on Nero 66 fighting Shiki. I'm going to be more powerful than my old man. And Shiki, I guess they're just shouting out their main points of the fight right now. But do you really have to hurt others to get there? And Shura fights back. You'll never make it to the top. You'll never make it to the top if you're not willing to step on people. Naive little brat. And Shiki counters, we're not going to the top. My friends and I, we're going forward. That's a nice little counter. That Shura is so obsessed with being the strongest, but that's not really the point. The point is to live on. Not to be better than everyone, but to be a better version of yourself. I really like that as sort of Shiki's conclusion to this arc. And so, with a line like that right there, I think we're not getting a rewind. At this point, I'm going to say there's not going to be a rewind. Shiki's just going to be eyeless for the rest of or one-eyed for the rest of the series. Anyway, Nero's sort of stunned at that, and we see Shiki readying his what might be his final attack, readying this big ball of gravity that grows and grows. And Shura's just shocked. What is that? And Rebecca and Happy comment on it. That gravity. And Pino chimes in. That's the power Master learned from Mr. Xenolith. And we flash back to I don't remember if we actually saw this scene. Part of the week-long training arc we fast-forwarded through. As Xenolith tells Shiki, Shiki, you need to strengthen the weight of your heart. It is the feelings you have for your friends. It is the courage to move forward. It is the resolve to fight. Tying in with what Shiki said earlier, we're going forward. That's the difference between him and Shura. And that ball, I'm guessing, reaches its full size. I love this panel here. I think assuming the last 5 pages don't give us a great thumbnail, our thumbnail is going to be, the we're going forward panel. But if this were configured slightly differently, this might be our fucking thumbnail right here. It's cool as shit. Just Shiki with this full-on ball of gravity. And he thinks back to everything that's happened over the whole saga, we see the little bot's death on Foresta. We see the drones who blew themselves up. We see even things that Shiki can't know. It must be memories funneling into his brain. Lazar and Ferena's death, Creed and Jaguar, all of the deaths of this war, even going back to Foresta. And Shiki's taunts, it is knowing the weight of a life. And Shura realizes that he's kind of beat here. That Shiki's resolve will bring him down. No, don't! Super ultimate Magimech attack! Black Sky! And he brings the ball down on Shura, defeating him. That is the end of Shura. That's a great fucking climax. And Shiki just stares at him, tired but victorious. Rebecca, happy, Pino, all cheer. We then see some. I think it's Shura hitting the ground. He comes out of his overdrive state, just lying there, and the video screen comes back, and it's Ziggy, apparently having bested Nero, given gravity drain. Well done, Shiki. And Shiki is not in a spot to deal with this right now. He is battered. He's lost an eye in the past half hour, or not even half hour, like 5 minutes. Grandpa, now allow me to test Nero's power. And we can even see that, actually. Going up a panel, we can see the wormhole starting to form by Shiki. Which I guess is what Gravity Drain did. It drained Nero's power, giving it to Ziggy, I guess. He reaches his arm through. Here, I want you to celebrate my birthday. Oh no! The wormhole was to the All-Link system! Now activating 20,000 Imperial antimatter bombs. No, not the All-Link system, the bombs. Shocking Rebecca, no. With your deaths, the Wheel of Fate will be complete. And that's how we leave off. Okay, so, let's save that final 2 pages for a little bit later. Let's talk about the rest of the chapter first. The battle is really coming to an end. We can see that. I'm guessing this final blast of Oasis and Army together is going to bring down the Sea Serpent. There's no reason to keep it here now that Shura is at least defeated and Nero is probably dead. There's no reason for the battle to keep going. So this is going to kind of be it, I think, for the space battle. Which means it might be quite a long while before Justice learns who he's allied with. Specifically the allies of Elsie. But also we'll get him learning about Creed's death soon, which will be fun. How Jesse will spin that is a whole other question, but anyway. There is, though, the question of Ijuna. I was really expecting the missing Ijuna to play a part in, sacrificing herself to stop Shura, or something, as like an atonement for what she's done. But instead, she's just run off. So, assuming that the bombs do go off, we will probably see her before the end, before the arcs end, to know she got out alive. But I'll talk about the bombs in a bit, because I have a lot of thoughts on I have a few thoughts on the bombs. But yeah, then we just have the final clash between Shura and Shiki. A little bit of the final clash between Ziggy and Nero, but that's a lot faster. Of just Ziggy seeing that he wants Wormhole, and then just goes straight for the Gravity Drain, which I guess just insta-kills Nero. And gives, at the very least, it steals Nero's ether gear. Whether it's possible that it just drains his ether, and then leaves him himself, I guess. But it's a little bit unclear on that. But then, yeah, we don't see any more of Nero after that, so it's hard to tell if he's dead or not. We then get, Shiki Shura. With both of them using their big, not quite ultimate attacks with Shiki's Meteor Breaker and Shura's Heavy Collision. And then we get this sort of, closing the thematic weight of their conflict. Shura is all about power, no matter who is hurt in the attempt, and Shiki just rejects all of that. We don't want to hurt anyone also, but we don't care about power. Power isn't the goal here. Our goal is to move forward, to live our lives. And it's that resolve, the resolve to fight, as Xenolith tells Shiki in the flashbacks, it's that resolve to fight, to live forward with your friends, and knowing the weight of a life, that gives strength to Shiki's final attack. It's admittedly a little shonen cheesy, but I'm always a sucker for some good shonen cheese. So yeah, Shura is finally defeated, and then the bombs. So the thing is, there are civilians on this planet. Even assuming the Eden Zero can make it out on time, there are still probably hundreds of thousands at least, if not millions or more, people on Nero 66 who will die. I mean, the same thing basically happened to Gilst, but Gilst was on an arc obsessed with the weight of a life. It would be weird if they just run away, right? Like, with all of Shiki's talking about his power is knowing the weight of a life, it would not make sense for him to leave Nero 66 to its fate. He's going to, at the bare minimum, evacuate the planet. He might stop the bombs entirely. That honestly seems like the most logical solution, is to stop the bombs. Though if he can do that with Ziggy wormholing in however he wants, is a whole other question. But yeah, this is a great chapter. This is a genuinely incredible chapter. And I really cannot wait to see how all of this goes forward. Nero 66 is the best arc in the series, bar none, at this point. It's just been an incredible ride, and it's moving into its final act, and I cannot wait to see how it all plays out. So I'm going to leave this video off here. Hope you all enjoyed the chapter and the video itself. If you did, feel free to drop me a like or subscribe, or, do whatever makes it happy, And as always, your life is your own, okay? Bye!